Hey everybody. How y'all doing? Hello Jay, Rita, Missy, Mandy. How's everyone? Did you have a good first day back at work, Rita? Y'all, I'm having my new favorite drink tonight. It's fantastic. Mm, that's good. You're awesome, Uncle. Thank you. Ooh, God, just sitting here in one spot just starts to fucking hurt. So I'm gonna do my best tonight, y'all, to hang out for the whole hour. I am doing better. I still can't go all the way to the ground and get up. So I'm having to go real slow down and like have something that I can push up on because I can't reach up and pull. I still can't lift anything over 5 pounds, but I did sleep in my bed finally for the first time last night, and it was wonderful. Anytime I can get a night's sleep is fucking wonderful. So I'm hoping that happens again tonight. But if my neck gets to where it's hurting real bad, I'll have to get up and come back out onto the couch. But I'm gonna try to push it. So, but anyway, I saw a couple stories that I found a little bit interesting. And then I found a couple little conspiracy theory things that we never talked about on our conspiracy theory one. And I found them interesting. So that's why I said, what's your take? Because I'm going to get y'all's take on it. So I'll go ahead and start. So, I don't know if y'all have heard this story about the Titanic. Hello, Uncle. So they're saying that the boat that we thought was the Titanic was not the Titanic. So the owner of the Titanic, J.P. Morgan, had two boats. He had the Titanic and he had the Olympic. Now, the Olympic was a bit older and a bit more run down than the Titanic, and it was also known to be in some accident. Now, the theory is that J.P. Morgan sank the boat on purpose because he knew he'd get a whole bunch of insurance money. Now, why sink the newly built Titanic when you can scratch the paint off, swap names, and sink the Olympic instead? Right? So he scratched off all the old paint, redid it. He painted the Titanic over the Olympic, transferred everything over. Also, on that trip was all of J.P. Morgan's business competitors. Now, J.P. Morgan was also supposed to be on that boat, but he canceled just minutes before the departure because he knew the boat was going to sink. Not one of his competitors survived that trip. So this is where it turns and gets a little more interesting. Now, a guy named Jack Thayer, who survived that trip. He wasn't supposed to survive that trip, but he did. He was one of the original workers on the boat who repainted and renamed and everything. What are you chewing on? What is that noise? What is that noise? Sorry, I thought I heard her chewing on something. Okay. He was one of the original workers on it. Jack Thayer. Now, on his deathbed, his last words This was to his family members. The Titanic never sank. It was the Olympic. He told them that he wasn't supposed to survive that trip, and he told that if he ever talked about it to anyone, something bad would happen to him. But he went ahead and blabbed on his deathbed. What the hell? I'm dying anyway. This is the truth. Apparently, the truth was just needed to get out from him. I don't know, but apparently, the movie should have been called The Olympic instead of the Titanic. Now, what is y'all's take? See, I hate being out here because I can hear everything and I don't know what the fuck it is. So what's y'all's take on that? Oh, that's right. You did say you were there to pup sit. So I had never heard this. I didn't even know that JP Morgan was the owner. I didn't know there was two boats. So I find it, I mean, I think anything is possible. It is quite possible that happened. I mean, yeah, I've never heard of any of this. That's why when I saw it, where did I see it at? I saw this video and I think it was Elon Musk telling the story. Did I say that name right? Anyway, it was in a like a podcast, and apparently it's just and you never went back to rewatch what you missed. I have done that. Like I've fallen asleep during a movie, but then I'll go back like the next night or something and try to start where I left off. The last thing I remember. Let's start from here. Oh, I like the movie. I thought it was a really good movie. The actors, I like both actors in there. And the little lady was cute as can be. And I mean, the storyline was just fantastic. I liked it. Is that supposed to be? Oh my God. Phew. Is that supposed to be a true story? I don't remember if they're claiming Titanic was a true story or not. So, God almighty. So again, I don't know if this is a true thing. If anybody had heard about it, I think anything is possible, like Missy said, especially if he knew. I mean, how coincidental, though, all of his business competitors now dead, and minutes before they left, he didn't go. I mean, there are people out there that would do that. That's see, that to me is something that maybe the mob would have done. pulled that kind of a stunt. I don't know, but I don't know. I mean, it could be a true story. But again, where's the proof? Where's the proof that it was switched over? Like, where is, like, every boat has to be registered. Where's the registration? Where's the fucking numbers? That's what I'm saying. Facing bankruptcy, and they were doing that because they were going to get a big fucking insurance payout or something. That's it. It could have been, and they sunk the boat, but nobody checked like serial numbers. I mean, it wouldn't have been, like the custom, the people that was taking the trip, they wouldn't have known about it. But how crazy is that? That one of the guys, Jack Thayer, accidentally survived this damn trip, and he was one of the original workers on it. So, like, how crazy is that he said that and came out with it? It's like, do you not believe somebody on their deathbed? What the fuck is that? I hate being out here. Yeah. Yeah, like Rita said, it does seem fishy, because I would be apt to believe somebody on their deathbed, even if they were afraid something bad was going to happen. No, it does. So it's so funny, because she has a little pig toy that if you push it, it does that little noise, and she'll step on it or play with it or push it, and it sounds like a fart. I think it's a purple piggy in there that makes that fart noise. It's really funny. But I don't know if it was true, but I would be more apt to believe somebody on their deathbed, because nothing bad can happen to him now. They're dying. What's going to, so now he's not afraid anymore. And somebody that held a secret that long, that's got to be tough. It's got to be tough. Oh, man. Okay. Moving on. On December 20th, 1980, when she was 19 years old, Jean Hilliard was driving her car when she slid into a ditch in sub-zero temperatures. She managed to get out of her car and walk for a little bit, but she collapsed just 15 feet from her friend's house. She was found the next morning laying on the ground in negative 22-degree weather, completely frozen and obviously not responsive. She was so frozen and stiff they couldn't even fit her into the cab of a pickup truck. They had to put her into the bed of the truck to get her to the hospital. So once in the hospital, she was slowly thawed out and regained consciousness, completely astonishing the medical staff. They didn't have much hope because of how frozen she was for at least 6 straight hours. Somehow she had no injuries or any long-term effects and made a complete recovery. Now, this happened in Minnesota. And apparently this happens ever so often. They interviewed her, and she says that she remembers that it was a very slippery road and that she remembers crashing into a ditch. She says that she remembered the neighborhood and that she knew this guy down the street. And that she said that she got out and started walking. She thought she was closer to the friend's house than she was. And she goes, she went over the hill thinking her friend's house was right there, but it was further than she thought. So she kept going and kept going. She had to go over another hill. And she saw the friend's house and started walking towards it. And then she fell down. She couldn't get up. She was trying to crawl, and she just ended up laying down. And okay. Now, the doctors said as a person cools down, their blood flow slows way down and their body requires less oxygen, like a form of hibernation. Now, if the blood flow increases at the same rate as the body warms up, they often recover. They have a special device that pumps the patient's blood through a heater, warming their vital organs from the inside. Now, how crazy is it that this happens that often? They're actually prepared for that shit. That wouldn't happen here. Doctors wouldn't know what to do with that here, because this past year we didn't get below 30. I just think that is absolutely crazy. And you guys can look it up and read the story on both stories, the Titanic and the, her name was Jean Hilliard. That's fucking crazy. I would not want to live, first of all, in a place that has negative 22. No way, no how. I don't know. I found it interesting. What do y'all think about that? I think it's amazing. Not amazing that it happens, but amazing that. Oh, no. I wouldn't want to either. I wouldn't want to either, but I think it's absolutely crazy that if you are, her eyes were open too. Like her eyes were completely frozen over. Like, how does that not damage something? Oh, it's raining. How does that not damage something? You would think that, I mean, I don't like being out here. I hear every fucking thing. I guess she froze slow. I don't know. That's just so weird. I guess if your eyes freeze while they're open, they won't dry out. I don't know. That's just so, it's so fucking crazy to me. And apparently she's still alive today, and she'll do interviews, or I don't know when her last interview was, but that's how I got that about her telling the story about finding the friend's house. And he didn't find her till the next morning. He came out to start working and saw her laying there. Y'all hear the dings and the dinging and berries. Okay, anyway, we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so this was in the early 1900s, and there was a thing called the radium craze. Now, there's a story about the Radium Girls. Turn this way. April 20th, 1902. Marie and Pierre Curie successfully isolated an element called radium. Now, at that time, radium was thought to have tons of beneficial properties, while doctors promoting this stuff as a curative. So it was quickly implemented into a wide range of products. There was radium-infused makeup, jewelry, or health tonics, radioactive chocolate, or toothpaste. There were radium spas that you could take a radium water bath. You could have all of that and more. You have already, if you haven't already guessed, radium is quite radioactive. Now, believe it or not, radium actually had a positive reputation back then. Now, you guys know that the radium is the radiation that they use for cancer patients, along with chemo. So they knew it could kill cancer cells, but didn't know exactly, they didn't know or even care, at that matter, what it would do to your healthy cells. So one of the biggest uses of radium infused paint. So the paint could glow in the dark. So it was eventually used in the watches and your vehicle dashboards. You know how they light up. They also did cluster for the military in World War I. Now, by 1917, the demand for radium dials skyrocketed, and as a result, so did the radium industry. Within a year, there were lots of facilities around the United States, including one in Orange, New Jersey, where they specialized in painting instrument cluster dials for the military. Many local women were happy to get a job there, as the working conditions were decent, they were well paid, and it was considered not dangerous then. And it was skillful. They were to strategically apply the radium to parts of the dial stamps to make them glow. Workers were instructed to lick the tip of their brushes between each application to keep their brush at a point. Because of the supposed health benefits, these women were under the impression that working with radium was one of the perks of the job. So they basically had free reign of the paint. They'd even paint their teeth and nails to give themselves a subtle glow before going out. So when they would smile, their teeth would glow. But it would eventually decline in popularity. Now, years after the war was over, the workers were starting to fall ill. Hey, Terry. Hundreds of them were complaining of terrible pain in their teeth and jaw, many having to be at the dentist seemingly every day, losing teeth at every visit. They were constantly fatigued and in pain, and some women found with holes in their jaws. Nobody wanted to believe it was the radium, so they began saying that it was syphilis that they were dying from. It wasn't until 1925 when they realized the effects that radium had on people's bodies. Grace Fryer, who was a dial painter, had tumors sprouting in her jaw. Her spine started crumbling and was in constant pain. She and 4 other of her colleagues attempted to sue their employer, but no lawyer would take them on or take them seriously at that point. In 1928, when their lawsuit was finally filed, after over 50 factory workers has already passed away due to radium paint poisoning. Corporations did everything they could to avoid responsibility, hoping these women would just die before it could be resolved. They won their lawsuit, but was only awarded a fraction of their demand, which only covered their doctor bills. Their story was tragic, but it taught people about radium and how it affected people's bodies, and it saved lives in the future. See, this is why, when they come out with new shit, oh, this is the new thing. But how do you know? How do you know that 10 years from now it ain't going to have an effect of something? I don't know. I'm real weird about medicine anyway. That's why I didn't take the jab. I wasn't about to get shot with something that they only were trying to make that fucking quick. Nobody knew long-time effects. They didn't have time to have long-time effects tested. No. I think it's crazy. It's fucked up. You almost feel sorry for those women because they were told back then, this is a perk to the job. This is a health thing. This is good for your health. And then that's what killed you. That's horrible. Could you imagine what it would feel like with tumors just sprouting everywhere and in your jaw, and your jaws were crumbling and just leaving big holes in there? Mm-mm. That's horrible. What's y'all's take? Don't everybody type at once. Well, yeah, of course. Now, radium now that is used for, that it's used aside chemotherapy to help, with the cancer patients. But back then, I think, Terry, you weren't there for the very first part of that story, but back then they thought it was actually helping. They thought it was beneficial to your health. So they were just using it all more, way more than they would take baths in it, paint their teeth with it. They just thought it was beneficial to their health to do so. And you're actually fucking killing yourself. That's a shame. So now that they know what radium's long-term issues are for your body, that's why they use it so sparingly, and only we're going to do 5 sessions of this, because now they know how bad it is for you, and they just use it for certain parts of, for where the cancer is and stuff. Do they still use the radium paint though? Do they still paint like the watch dials, and they still do that? God, it hurts to yawn still because I use that fucking muscle. Do they still do that with like watches and clocks where they glow at night, glow in the dark? Because isn't that the radium paint that they use to do that? Even if they did, though, I don't think there's people sitting there licking the freaking paintbrush now. Ooh, I don't know. I'm not sure. But is that what I don't know what kind of paint they mix the freaking radium with. Guess whatever paint, the radium is what made it glow, right? Oh, okay. All right. I don't know. I don't know. That's a total shame. You can't help but feel sorry for these people just because they did not have the knowledge of it. And they use it just thinking that it's helping them, and it's actually hurting them so bad. It's horrible. So the next one I have is, y'all might remember this. So on Sunday, September 5th, 1982, there was a 12-year-old Des Moines, Iowa resident, Johnny Ghosh, who was allegedly kidnapped while he was out on his paper route. He left that morning to go do his paper route and never came home. So they all went out to search for him, and they found his bicycle, the wagon for the papers, and his dog sitting on the sidewalk. No Johnny in sight. So that is when they first started putting they put the missing people on the milk boxes. Well, he was the very first one they ever put on a milk box. So you can find this documentary on Netflix, and it's called Who Took Johnny? But there have been conspiracies that's been surrounding this disappearance for years and years and years. The case ended up going cold because there's no evidence or leads, and it's still unsolved to this day. Now, his mother is Noreen Ghosh. Excuse me. She received pics of a man tied up in a basement. So that led her to believe that Johnny was forced into a child sex ring that was being operated in Nebraska. Then in 1997, Noreen said that her now grown-up son came home and visited her with his captor. Now, she said he told her he was fine and had been fine, and that he wanted to make sure she knew he was still alive. Now, the police could not corroborate her story because she didn't have proof that he showed up. This was how many years later? 82, he was taken, and he showed up in 1997. So 15 years later. Was it really him? Did he really even show up? Did she dream it? So there was no proof. The police couldn't corroborate his story. Now, there's also a theory that the White House reporter Jeff Gannon is Johnny Ghosh. They look the same, talk the same, walk the same. And they feel that Jeff was brainwashed to believe he was Jeff when he's really Johnny Ghosh. They're same age, everything. But apparently they are the same in sound, looks, actions, the way he walks, and his political views. I would like to know how anybody would know Johnny Ghosh's political views if there's no proof if he's dead or alive. His remains were never found. No leads, no evidence, nothing. So it's never been proved. So to this day, we don't know if he's alive, if he's dead, if he was brainwashed. Was that really him that showed up? Or was there anybody that even showed up? Because, if you knew your son was missing for that many years, why wouldn't you fucking call the authorities and be like, my son's here. He's alive. What was his excuse for why he had to leave again? And why with his captor? That doesn't make a whole bunch of sense. Like, I would be taking pictures of him, videos, like it's you, it's really you, but she had nothing. Like, why would you not try to, why would you even call the police with no proof that he was, you know? I don't know. There's these are the kind of shit that you just don't know what to think. There's no proof of nothing. But even if there was, is it that crazy to believe? Or would you still believe it? She could have seen his ghost. Maybe he visited her in her dream and she thought it was fucking real. God, that drink's good. I've only got one more story. Y'all need to tell me what y'all think. What's y'all's take on this? No take? Oh God, I'm hurting a little bit. All right, well, let's moving on. This is my final story. Yeah, it does get your mind wandering because you're like, damn. Well, could that guy be? Like, hi, Shasi. All right, so here's my final story. You guys might have known about this. So everybody knows Yellowstone Park. Yellowstone is 3,500 square miles of wilderness, wild animals, and gorgeous landscapes. Now, underneath Yellowstone Park is an active supervolcano that measures 44 miles across. You can't see me? Oh. I don't know why you can't see me. I'm sitting here with my neck brace on. I'm okay. So they say if this huge volcano erupts, it could wipe out the majority of the United States. Oh, your internet connection. Okay. I was just making sure that something wasn't wrong with my phone or something. So apparently this volcano last erupted 630,000 years ago. There are some convinced, though, that the next eruption could happen any time now. Some believe the U.S. is drawing up contingency plans because the government knows the eruption is imminent. Conspiracists also point to videos of animals running from Yellowstone, which people think is a sign of an upcoming eruption. Experts say that the animals are running from the tourists. The volcano is actually located 4 to 5 miles beneath the surface on the Wyoming side. The ground above the volcano sits on a magma hotspot and is a hot spring. Well, no wonder it's a fucking hot spring. People go there and swim in that shit. Now, I believe animals are running from tourists. But, I mean, animals can sense things that people can't. Like, do they feel the ground grumbling or rumbling? Well, over there, though, I mean, isn't there earthquakes over there? Anyway, don't they get used to that moving ground shit? I don't think I would like that. I would not want to live where all of a sudden the whole fucking earth shakes and everything's falling off your wall. No. Nope. So, and you guys can look it up. that's what I'm saying. Like, I think they can sense something, but I mean, maybe it's a weather change. Like, how do you know that the animals are running because of an eruption coming? Like, it's been 630,000 years that the last eruption was 630,000 years, and I think when it erupted the time before that was 700 and something thousand years ago. And they said that it's been very quiet for over 70 years. So what makes them think it would? I don't know. This is a tough one. Like, I know animals sense stuff. I don't know. Would they be able to sense like an eruption? I mean, I don't know. I don't ever want to be around there when something happens. Oh yeah, I do too. I do believe the animals would run from terrorists. I could believe that if maybe they feel the ground rumble with something, that'll scare them and run. Whether it be a volcano under there, I don't know. That's 4 to 5 miles below the fucking surface, though. That's still a long fucking way below the surface. Just imagine though, just imagine if that thing erupted. And it did say in there, like, if it erupted, it could be parts all over the world that could get stuff from it, from flying debris, hot lava, running. And they say that everybody is safe if they're indoors or whatever, unless you're in that vicinity of it. But just, walking along outside one day and there's big fucking flying something land out of the fucking sky in front of you from a eruption, that would be freaky as shit. Or it could hit you. Like, I don't know. It's just fucking crazy shit. Let's hope that it doesn't erupt. I hope that it doesn't, because I've never been out there. Like, I don't know how close people live to it. I know they said it's a 3,500 square mile. That's a lot of area there. But Jesus, how far is shit gonna fly from that? 4 and 5 miles under the surface. Is it just gonna blow all the fucking everything that's above it out of the way? That's a lot. That's 5 miles worth of fucking dirt right there. Like, what's the force of that fucking thing? Oh, you're close to Yellowstone? Golly, I'd be scared to death. I've never heard of this, though, until today. Like, I've never been there, but I've heard of Yellowstone Park. I've never heard of a volcano under there. But if you Google it, it'll tell you all about it. I went into Google. I was like, oh my God, this is fucking crazy. Now, I know. Let's see. Let me think. Are there volcanoes in the US? Okay, so this is where I feel stupid because I don't know this. Now, I do know there's volcanoes like in Asia, uh, that big one over there. Um, like, is it Japan or crap? Where is it? China or Japan? Anyway, it's that big one, and it erupts. And remember, and then just God, a few years ago, it had erupted, and all this lava was just running into the towns, and they didn't think they were gonna fucking stop it. And like, God, it's crazy. There is one in Hawaii too, I think. But is there any volcanoes in the US? Because I'm curious now. Because that's in the US. And I've never heard of a volcano underground, though. I mean, I know that they brew down there, but usually it's a big, it's a big cone thing with an open top where they get that the oxygen and stuff. Like I didn't know there was a volcano under the ground. So this is why I'm just baffled by this. Where's that, Missy? I don't know where Dante's Peak is. Is that in the US? This might be another podcast. Was there, Mom? Oh, okay. Washington State. I might just have to look up like all these fucking volcanoes and where they're at, and that could be interesting. The last time they erupted, all that. I think I might do that. Because now I'm curious. There's holes at Yellowstone that blow up hot water and steam high up in the air, and you can go watch it. But isn't that what they call like those hot springs and stuff? Somebody's playing their game. I can hear the dinging. Thank you, Missy. You're the fucking bomb. Every time I say that I want to do something, she fucking sends me all the stuff I need to know. Oh. Oh. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So those are like, but those would be like almost like little mini volcanoes, but spewing hot water instead of, hey, that's because volcanoes spew hot lava that's orange and turns black. It's orange from the heat. Okay, so what are those things called that you're talking about, Mandy, in Yellowstone that the hot water blows up, that blow up the hot water and steam high up in the air? What are those called? I'm going to do the podcast about the volcanoes, I think, because I think we all need to know where they're located, because this one that's underneath Yellowstone Park is new to me. They call the big one Old Faithful. No, I don't. I mean, but what is it called? Is it just like a water? No, a water spout's more like a tornado over water. It's got to be called something. It's called something if it's blowing up the hot water and steam. I know it's called Old Faithful, but what is it actually? What is that actually called with when it blows up hot water? It's not a volcano. Does anybody know? I don't know. I don't know what it's called. I've never seen that in my life. I've never seen that. Oh, geysers. Geysers. All right. I'll look that shit up. I'm gonna do the thing about the volcanoes now, because I think we all need to know where they're at and when they're gonna fucking go off, or when's the last time they went off anyway. Got geysers. Okay. Did anybody know that there was a fucking volcano underneath the Yellowstone Park? And they call this thing like a super volcano, or something like that. It's like a super big one. Can y'all hear that bird chirping? Oh, you know a super volcano. You know about the super volcano, and that's underneath Yellowstone Park. You knew about that one? No shit. None of us knew. Okay. This is new to me. That's why I was talking about it. Can y'all hear that bird chirping? This damn mockingbird out there is just chirp, 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 chirp. And it's pitch black outside. He will leave. I'm serious. You wake up at 3 a.m, he's still going to town like that. Okay, so you saw that on National Geographic, that volcano was underneath Yellowstone? See, I did not know that was there. So Randy knew about it. He watches National How long ago? Hello, Atlantic Ghost Hunters. How long ago did you watch that? So I never fucking knew about it. Good Lord. I need to just start doing research about the country I live in. Oh, I guess it was on the National Geographic channel a few years ago. So it was news to me. I learn something new every day. How you doing, Ghost Hunter? Oh my goodness. So Atlantic Ghost Hunters, where exactly are you located? Just out of curiosity. He said you can probably YouTube it and find out. Dante's Peak is a fictional town in Wallace in the Bitterroot Mountains, part of the Western Rockies in Idaho. Oh. No shit. Canada. I think I've met you in Matt's live. I would love to go to Canada. I can't go anywhere for a period of time because I have all my babies, because I'm an animal rescue. So I'm going to be doing a lot more research on these volcanoes for y'all. And we're going to learn where they're all fucking at. Because I want to know now. I did not know. Yeah, I told Matt that if he came down here, he better not come to Florida without saying hi to me. But I'm about to be retired and I can ghost hunt more now. So I'm happy about that. So I'm just looking for places to go. I would there's some places in Tennessee I would like to go to. There's a place in Kentucky I would like to go to. I've never been to Kentucky, and here it's beautiful, so I would really like to go there. I had a few hotels in mind for Atlanta, Georgia, but they said that they do not do the ghost hunt things there anymore. So I'm like, well, that fucking sucks. Why you advertise it? But I gotta get past this fucking mess. And then once I can get past all that and I'm healed up, I can start being myself again. This has got me down for a few months. So I'm kind of excited for my 1 week checkup tomorrow, but I'm a little nervous about getting my staples out because I really think that's going to fucking hurt. Because just touching it, it's just sore through there. And, they don't care. They're going to be all, and I'm like, they're fucking yanking my neck. I know, golly, it's going to suck. But if I ever do get up to Canada, I'm going to be calling y'all. And maybe we can hook up and do some ghost hunts. Yeah, I just had, I've been dealing with my neck pain for several years. And last Tuesday, they had to go in and fuse C5 and 6. Oh, it's hurting tonight, though. So this is just a pain in the ass. This, I think wearing this hurts more than not wearing it. So, yeah. But anyway, that's all the stories that I have for tonight. That's the 5 stories that I had. I am going to be looking into these volcanoes. I want to find out where all the ones in the US are, because I think we all would like to know. So we know. And yeah, we're going to talk about volcanoes because that's places I don't want to go. So it's a fictional town. But wasn't it a show too, Uncle? Dante's Peak? I hear everything sitting out here. That bird finally shut up. Also, I can't believe it lasted the whole hour. I thought my neck was going to give out on me. There's no Dante's Peak here in Idaho, but it is a movie. Oh, I got you. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Good night, Rita. Love you, girl. And I think I am going to mosey on off of here because my neck is starting to hurt. And I'm glad I made it the hour though. So that means I'm doing better. So anyway, I can't say exactly when my next one will be. What the hell's today? Oh, today's Monday. Maybe Thursday. No, wait a minute. 2, 3, 4. I don't want to do it on the July 4th. Hold on just a minute. Let's say Wednesday or Friday. I don't want to do it on the holiday. Everybody's out with their families and doing the fireworks and I don't want to well, thank you for coming in, Atlantic. It was wonderful to have you. I love Linda Hamilton. I am going to be live on Clapper for a little while longer. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming in and supporting me. And I hope you guys learn something. I always have fun no matter what we're talking about. Frozen? Am I frozen? I hope not. Anyway, I will be on Clapper for a little bit. Love you guys.